Hi guys, welcome back to the Drive Life channel. In today's video we have some exciting news. The smart car is officially back on the road. As you can see, Otto's made himself at home back in the boot again, and it's been a bit of an ordeal, to be honest. It's been 6 months since this car was on the road. For those who don't know, we bought this car and the challenge was to insure it, tax it and buy it all for less than £1,500, which we did. It was sort of a budget, fuel crisis beating car. It runs off LPG as well as petrol, so you're paying 80p a litre, averaging 50 miles per gallon on LPG, and then 60-70 miles per gallon on petrol. The idea was that it was just going to take a few of the miles off the S80 and save us a load of money on fuel. I mean, I commute 40 miles a day, so if we could do that for less than a gallon a day like the Volvo does, it was going to pay for itself. And the car did pay for itself within 3 months of ownership. We'd saved that much money, 1,500 quid on fuel. So one day in September, I got in the car to go to work, turned the ignition on, and it blew a fuse and nothing happened. It would just tick over, wouldn't even start. So I thought, okay, maybe it's a coil pack or something gone. Otto loves this car, don't you, boy? Maybe it's a fuel issue, I don't know. So took it all apart. Engine bay in the back of these things is under the rear, under where Otto is now. And to get to spark plugs, etc., you have to remove the whole rear bumper. So we did all that, and found that the wiring was all dodgy. Obviously tried different fuses, didn't work. So it was clear then that there was an electrical short somewhere, which really wasn't ideal. So it took us about 4 months. We sent it to an auto electrician. They charged £150 and told us essentially what we already knew, that there was a short. So that was a bit frustrating. They said it probably wasn't worth repairing, that we should just get rid of the car. So me and Mrs. DL are quite stubborn with that sort of thing. We refused to take no for an answer. So we set about trying to find the issue. We parked at my parents' house on their patio because it's small enough, and we set about redoing all the wiring. So the entire engine loom has been rewired. We couldn't find the issue. It was still shorting out and popping fuses. So we decided to have a look underneath. We found that what had happened, the gearbox cable, or the loom that goes to the gearbox, had started rubbing on the chassis. Rubbed through, was touching the chassis. So we patched that up and it no longer shorted, but we did have an issue where it would start and cut out instantly. The car just wasn't having it, a bit like Otto now, doesn't want to be in the video anymore. So we then had another issue to sort out. Now that turned out to be a burnt circuit in the ECU. Essentially what had happened was, during trying to change the fuses, I decided to put a bigger fuse in to see if that popped. Very, very bad idea, because it then melted the ECU. So I then had to completely repair the tracks in the ECU. We've had to jump a few with wires, etc. It was all solid, and now the car works. So obviously we then took it for its MOT. The MOT expired in October, so it's been off the road all that time, and really didn't know whether it was going to pass or not. I was concerned about emissions, with it having been sat there with E10 petrol in it for 6 months. I changed the spark plugs and coil packs, etc., HT leads, but it hadn't been driven for that long. So I was concerned as to what state the emissions was going to be in. But actually, it didn't fail on that at all. What it failed on was the headlight aim was too high, so it was blinding people. I mean, to be honest, ever since we bought it, people have been flashing us with the headlights on, so yeah, it's probably been an issue for a while. The windscreen wipers, to be fair, they had split, I think probably for being sat for such a long time. The blade is actually separated from the sort of holder itself, so it was really rubbish at clearing water. So that was a failing point. The washer pump wasn't working, again just over time. It failed, and the most sort of important, or what I say was the most actually dangerous, was this suspension arm had failed. The rear bushing, I don't know if you can see here the construction, that bushing is still intact. However, you'll see that it's completely missing from this side. So this was allowing the whole wheel assembly to wobble like that. So we replaced that, £25 for a new one, and replaced the anti-roll bar drop link as well, purely because I couldn't get this one off for the life of me. As you can see, it's rounded. So we replaced those. We had to remove the entire front of the car to adjust the headlights and replace the washer pump, but now it's officially passed. So in the last day or two, I think I've stuck nearly 200-300 miles on this thing. We're so happy to be back in it. And in that time, I've spent £12 on petrol. It's ridiculous. So yeah, that is the story of the Smart. Obviously got plenty of plans that we had to put on hold with this thing. So we've done 48,000 miles. It's obviously got a 0.7 litre 3-cylinder engine. The interior, despite the mud, because it's really muddy around here at the moment, is in really good nick. Considering it's 20 years old now, that makes this car a bit of a modern classic. So yeah, it is really good. The only thing I think it needs now is some air in that tyre that I've noticed. But other than that, it's, yeah, in great nick. So really pleased about that. Otto has been in the boots. There's plenty of space for him, as you can probably see. Quite deceivingly big, the boots on the Smart car, especially with these convertibles. For some reason it just seems to have more space in it. It doesn't have a tray at the back. And yeah, we've got many more adventures planned in it. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you'd have given up. I've definitely learned a lot of new skills fixing this thing, that's for sure. So yeah, and I'm sure it will break again. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Cheers.